Boys, I'm LilBJessup, and today I'm doing suspension. So I got these new tires on the truck, and I was like, man, I'll take it for a test drive. And I about died. This thing is all over the road. It's like almost uncontrollable above 45. The suspension is so clapped. You just get it bouncing. It'll just stay there and bounce. It's like a ball, it's like a, I don't even know. It's bad. The shocks on this thing are probably from, I don't know, maybe original. Who knows? So to remedy that, I've got new suspension. Old school Monroe gas magnums. They're heavy duty for a heavy duty truck. I've also got new brake lines because I don't trust rubber lines. So we're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna start in the rear because that's the easiest. And because everything under this truck is 800 years old, I'm gonna put a little PV blaster on these bolts. Now to make them come out, hopefully, probably not. Off, please. Oh, hey. Oh, okay. I'm willing to bet money that these shocks. Oh, look at that. That one actually works. Not very good, but she's there. So this is a light duty shock right here compared to a heavy duty shock. The Monroe gas shock is an amazing shock. It's kind of shocking how much of a shock this thing shocks. Oh gosh. Just go. Gotcha. Heavy breathing. Woo. That's one side done. Rinse and repeat over there. Man, I love PV Blaster. I'm not even sponsored by them, but PP, if you need a sponsor, let me know. I got a lot of rusty bolts. Let's see if this one expands at all. Now it should go, but I doubt it will. No? Well, this did it. It did it. So I got the F250 in the garage now. It's out of the shade. It's out of the sun. And I want to do the rear brakes. I've got the shocks off on there. There's new Monroe. And the rear brake line has always been. First of all, I don't trust rubber lines. They're old. They crack, they go bad. So I'm gonna replace the rubber line. And to get to the rubber line easier, I'm gonna take the spare off, mainly because it's flat and it flops around, makes a lot of noise. And all the bolts are broken. Well, the nut tabs. So I'm just gonna zip right off. Don't need it. I want to put the spare in the bed. Look like a farm truck. Pinch down, grab my cutting wheel. Safety glasses. Alright. There it goes. That'll do it. Yep, that's nice. Just gotta clean up all this dirt now. See you later, dirt. With all this room opened up, now we can fix this brake line. Now the best way to get an old brake line like this off is with the line wrench. Now unfortunately my line wrench is metric, so it doesn't fit, so that's worthless. But I do have vice grips and a wrench, so it's coming off. Come on, baby. Ah, yes. I must be dreaming. All these brake lines have come loose. So no cutting, flaring on the rear at least. I still have two front ones, but the rear. Oh, this is awesome. No fluid in these things, which is I guess it's concerning, but it makes not a mess, so that's cool. Alright, so here's the old line with a bunch of crud and stuff built up around it. Probably bad. And I've got the new line right here. Gonna go right in and work. So, yeah, it's easy for it. So I've come across an issue. Both of my rear brake bleeders are stuck, and someone has monkeyed on them before. They're all rounded off. I can't get them with vice grips and a torch. So, safe to say that the wheel cylinder is probably shot. So I should probably get some new ones. Especially since I'm going to be towing my 4,000-pound boat with this thing. So, yeah, let's get some new wheel cylinders in there. So I was pulling the brake drum apart just to get the wheel caliper or wheel cylinders out, and it looks like there was like a fire in here or something. Like the paint's just gone, and we're missing some components. Noticeably, the wire that goes from here to the parking brake isn't there, so that's pretty cool. Oh, and a mystery spring just fell out when I opened it up, so also cool. More brake work. Alright, status update. Well, O'Reilly's didn't have the parts. I checked online and never drive there anymore. So they didn't have the parts to get this thing on the road today. So I went to my favorite Rock Auto and I ordered everything. I ordered hardware kits, I ordered brake shoes, wheel cylinders. I also ordered front calipers because when I'm opening up the can of worms of brakes, might as well get it start fresh. So I'll get all new brakes on this thing and it will be perfect. The one unfortunate thing about Rock Auto is you have to wait. So I've got a week now where this thing doesn't have brakes. So guess I'll go put it back up in the lineup. All right, truck's in the garage. I've got all these parts that are about to go on. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. If I had one. Well, here we go with this crap. I hate brakes. So one side is done. And if you want to see how that went, I'll show you. And if you want to see how I do these things, just keep in mind it's not a tutorial, but here we go. Tools and parts out. I've got my readiness drink. Let's go do these brakes, shall we? Come on, dang it, mother. What have I done? Yes! Yeah, that. Ha! In record time. That is not reassuring. Ah, yes. Okay, now it's actively on fire. Hot. With the use of fire, I was able to save this brake line. So after getting the other side over there done, I realized that I have two of the same shoes. That means the other side has two of the same shoes, and they're actually different. So this is a front shoe. So I've got to take them apart. Or if I hit the brakes, it's going to pull to the left. I hate drum brakes. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. All right, it is now dark, and the brakes are together. I'm gonna throw the drums on, get them adjusted, and put the wheels on. And tomorrow I'll do the fronts and bleed it. Yes. So after a lot of work and having to redo them twice, the brakes are done. In the rear. But as you can see, it's probably like 11 o'clock at night. I gotta be up tomorrow early for work, so I'm gonna lower this thing down, get it out of the garage, shut the garage up, and go to bed. All right, I'm back. Only difference is fresh gray shirt. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We are doing the front now. As you can see, the caliper is old, and these rubber lines they're bad. I think I bought new ones. And the shock is super old. Hit with some PB and let her rip. So much like that one rear line that was stuck, the front one was also stuck, and the caliper and everything else. But I went ahead and I've got new everything. New line, new shock, new caliper, new pads. This thing's gonna work great. The rotor is fine-ish. Should be fine. I had to cut the brake line to get it off and beat the snot out of the caliper. And the shock is still compressed. It didn't work. It's also one of these, what is the brand? Gabrielle. Yeah. Very old. And I've seemed to have got some type of heavy duty power steering leak. I mean, look at this built up on the frame. Oh, yeah. So, I think it's a seal. I did order new seals, but I just seen how bad it is now. Like, look at that shock just built up with just grime. That's healthy. We got this side done. We're going to jump on to the next side, and then this thing should be able to stop. So just like the last side, the shock is frozen. Because it's not a good thing for a vehicle to sit in the field for 8 years. One thing that is surprising is this thing has new brake pads on it, and it spins quite nice. So the caliper should, in theory, be fine, but we're going to replace it along with the line because no chances. And then we'll have all new brakes on all 4 corners. And just got to bleed them tonight, and then we're done. So this side is also being a menace. The best way to minimize breaking a line is to actually cut the old rubber line. So I cut it off, and I will grab the actual metal line with some vice grips and spin off the rubber line. And if it doesn't spin, you add heat because you don't want to break that. And I actually got this side off without needing heat, so that's good. Yes. Now I can put the new line on and remove this heavy thing. Well, I've never seen anything like this. This brake pad was installed backwards. Look at that. How? I mean, the rotor is a little jacked up on this side, on the back. Ooh. So that's not cool. But how did they do that? Well, alright then, whatever. And just like that, we have all new parts on the brakes. Last thing to do, fill up the master and bleed it. So the brakes were unable to build pressure to be bled, so I'm going to let it sit overnight. I've cracked the bleeder valves just to see if it'll start to dribble. If it doesn't, the master cylinder is bad, but I suspect it's bad. It's, older than dirt. And going by the amount of rust, yeah, she's bad. The brakes may not work, but man, The suspension is still bouncy. So after more waiting, the master cylinder finally came in, and check out the magnet. That's pretty sweet. Add it to my wall. Yeah, you'll go here. Today we're finishing brakes. So because I've used PB religiously on this thing, I didn't have to heat up the lines again. While I was waiting for this master cylinder to come in, I just sprayed PB and waited. And it's paid off. The bolts are coming off. The lines came off. So it's a win-win. Well, I guess we won't be finishing the brakes today because these two are different. The mounts on this is wider than that. Crap. Well, I'm going to get this finished today. I'm going to take this to O'Reilly's in my fancy carrying container, and that one is getting returned. So off to O'Reilly's. So after visiting the big 4 auto stores, nobody had one in stock. I talked to a guy at Napa and he said that it's the heavy duty brake cylinder, or heavy duty master cylinder, and it would take a while to get in. So I said to order it, and in the meantime I put it back on the truck, and now we're getting pressure all of a sudden. But my passenger wheel is now leaking. All my new parts leaking everywhere. Great. So it appears that this seal right here is popped off. Maybe we can pop it back on, hopefully. I hope so. Goodness gracious. What a pain. How to prepare yourself for taking apart drum brakes that you've already taken apart twice. Got in my eye. Upon starting the truck, the pedal is not very good. Very strange. So I've got yet another master cylinder. This one is the correct one. Take a look at the differences between this one and this one. The bore on this one is smaller than on this one. Yep. So my truck has a GVR rating above 8,500 pounds. That's what that tells me. Cool. Got the new one in, and might just say it's quite the improvement under here, having something shiny. Gonna wait till I get a drip out of the lines, and then I will go on and bench bleed it with these little plugs right here. Bench bleed. All right, let off. So I've got the brake pedal feeling decent now. I think it's as a matter of the, I think once the pads seat more, it'll get better. Let's go on and give it a test. And brakes. Pretty good. Not too shabby, not too shabby. I'm calling that a win. This thing has brakes. So to recap, I've bought the brakes and won eventually. Done the suspension. Every bit of brake is new except for the line, so we've got a new drivetrain basically. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next we're doing electrical on this thing and finally hopefully getting it inspected. See you in the next video.